Hi everyone and welcome to St Matt's Sunday Club online. I hope you've had a great week at school with your friends and are now ready to learn more about our friend Jesus. But we're going to start this morning with a quiz. I've got some pictures of characters from stories or films and they all have enemies. And you've got to guess who the enemy is for each one of them. Now, if you need more time, you can always press the pause button. But let's have a go. Question 1. Now, who was trying to grab the 3 little pigs? Of course, it was the big bad wolf. Now, this is Snow White. Who tried to get rid of her? The Wicked Queen. Here she is. Now, I know some of you have read the Harry Potter stories. Who is his great enemy? It's Lord Voldemort, who first tried to kill Harry when he was a baby. This is Robin Hood, and he is always being hunted by, do you know? The Sheriff of Nottingham. Now, who is after Peter Pan? It's Captain Hook, of course. In the Jungle Book, Mowgli has an enemy. That's right, the fierce tiger, Shere Khan. And in the film of 101 Dalmatians, someone is trying to grab the puppies. Who is she? Cruella de Vil. She wants to get hold of all those little puppies, doesn't she? Right, last one. In the stories of Narnia, who is against Peter, Susan, Edmund and Lucy? It's Jadis, the White Witch, who Aslan defeats. Now, stories often have wicked characters who want to sabotage or end the lives of the hero. And when we look in the Bible, which is true and not pretend, we see that Jesus has some very powerful enemies. And we're going to have a look at some of those this morning. But before we do that, let's remind ourselves of who Jesus is and what he did.
Hello. We're going to sing a song about Jesus. Do you know who Jesus is? He's the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords and the Son of God. And we're going to praise him as we sing this song together. He's the King of Kings. He's the Lord of Lords. He can heal the sick. He can calm the storm. He's the Son of God. He can save us from sin. And he calls us to follow him. You know what? I actually think this song would be better if we had someone playing piano and maybe singing along with us. So, hey Philip.
Hey.
Why don't you join us?
Love to.
Oh, I should probably move over.
Yeah, just a little bit more.
Some more room? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Thanks. Shall we sing?
1, 2, 3, 4. He's the King of Kings, he's the Lord of Lords. He can heal the sick, he can calm the storm. He's the Son of God, he can save us from sin, and he calls us to follow him. Jesus met a man covered in disease, knew he needed to be clean. Jesus just touched him, the disease was gone.
Only God could do that. could do that.
Who is this man? He's the King of Kings, he's the Lord of Lords. He can heal the sick, he can calm the storm. He's the Son of God, he can save us from sin, and he calls us to follow him. Yes, he calls us to follow him, and he calls us to follow him.
Well, Jesus is the Son of God, the King of Kings, and can do what only God can do. And he calls us to follow him. But not everyone wanted to follow him. All through his life, there were people who did not want Jesus. In fact, Jesus was in danger right from when he was a little baby. Remember in the Christmas story how King Herod wanted to get rid of him. And Jesus and his family had to flee to Egypt until Herod had died. Herod was proud and thought he was the most important. He didn't want a new king. And later, King Herod's grandson, who's also called King Herod, is the one who questions Jesus when he's arrested. Those kings are powerful enemies. And when Jesus grew up, the religious leaders, who thought they knew all about God, they wanted to get rid of him. They saw the amazing things Jesus did, and they heard what he said, but they were against him. They were full of jealousy and wanted the people only to follow them. So they wanted to get rid of Jesus and made plots against him. In fact, many people hated Jesus because they wanted to live lives their own way, to do what they wanted, to be in charge. And did you know, a crowd of people one day tried to throw Jesus off a cliff? They did not believe he was the Messiah, God's promised one, and so wanted Jesus dead. So Jesus faced many enemies, and we'll hear more about them as we come to look at the Easter story in a few days' time. But the most powerful one of all, the arch enemy, was the evil one himself, the devil who'd rebelled against God right back at the very beginning, and who as a serpent in the garden had encouraged people to disobey God. The evil one wanted to stop Jesus and his plan to rescue us and restore our friendship with God. So he tried to tempt Jesus not to follow the plan. Let's have a look at how he does this in a clip from The Miracle Maker. Now, the evil one does not appear as a serpent this time, but looks more like a human. Let's have a look.
Command this stone to turn into a loaf of bread to satisfy your hunger. If you are the Son of God.
It is written, man shall not live on bread alone.
Give this authority and power and glory to you. Bow down before me, and it will all be yours.
No. It is written in the scriptures, you shall worship the Lord your God, and no one else shall you serve. No one!
the Son of God, throw yourself down from here. For it is written in the Scriptures, He has commanded His angels to take care of you. They will carry you up in their arms before you even hit your foot on a stone.
The Messiah, the deliverer of Israel.
You shall not put your God to the test! You shall not put your God to the test!
I wonder if you noticed how the enemy used all his cunning and trickery to try and sabotage Jesus' plan. First, he comes alongside Jesus when he is in the wilderness and he's tired and hungry. He thinks Jesus will be weak now and that it will be easy to defeat him. And did you hear what the devil said? If you are the Son of God. He wants Jesus to stop trusting God. So he's placing doubts in his mind to think, oh, maybe I'm not God's son. Maybe I'm not the Messiah, the promised one. He then suggests that Jesus turns the stones into bread and satisfies his hunger. But that would mean that Jesus was using his power, God's power, to satisfy his own selfish needs. Next, the devil suggests that if Jesus bows down and worships him, he will make him a powerful ruler like the Roman emperor. He could have all this power if Jesus decides not to carry out the plan to rescue us from sin and death. And then he says to Jesus, why don't you throw yourself down off the temple? You won't fall. Angels will save you. But this would mean that Jesus is using his power to do clever stunts, to say, look, see how amazing I am, to show off. And then people would follow him because he looks like some great magic worker, rather than trusting in God. But Jesus, the King of Kings, stands firm. He stays true to God, his Father. He remembers what is written in the Scriptures, in the Bible, and he will follow God alone. The enemy is real and powerful, but Jesus is greater, and the lies of the evil one are defeated. Let's remember then that whatever difficulties and problems and enemies we might face, now or in the future, Jesus is greater than them all, and he will stand with us. So let's trust and follow him. This morning, we've mainly thought about the enemies of Jesus, but many people trusted in him. Fishermen, tax collectors, women, children, Roman soldiers, and important officials all believed in him. So if you are a follower of Jesus, let's say together loudly what we believe. This kind of prayer is called a creed. It's like a prayer shout. Now, if you don't read yet, don't worry. Listen to what the others in your house are saying and look at the pictures. So are you ready? Let's say this together, good and loud. I believe in God, our Father in heaven. He made the stars and the earth and everything in it. I believe in Jesus, God's Son. He lived on earth, died on a cross to deal with my sins, and rose again. Well, that's all for this time, but please join me again next Sunday, Palm Sunday, when we think about Jesus being our King. And we will see, as we follow the Easter story, how these enemies of Jesus come together and gang up on him and try to get rid of him, but how Jesus defeats them once and for all. So until then, take care everyone. God bless you and bye-bye.